Hey everyone, 13 weather meteorologist Sean Ash with a Friday evening update here. We're going to start broad and we're going to work in, and keep in mind on the timestamp of our video when you're kind of processing the info that we're showing you here, but we're looking at power outages over 4 million, and you can actually use this map to see the track of the center of circulation with Helene, with the highest outages east northeast of the track here. So you can see through Florida, Georgia, I mean Carolinas. I mean, we're talking millions of people here, and now it's arcing back to the west and northwest. Circulation center is over Kentucky now, and within the last hour we've seen an increase in wind speeds. We've seen an increase in power outages here across central Indiana. We've talked about the Fujiwara effect, remember? So here's what's left of Helene in the process of merging with the upper low to become just one big circulation as we go into the weekend here. And that process is strengthening the wind field across the southern half of Indiana. Now, at 4 o'clock, we didn't have a whole lot of power outages here locally, but we were looking over into Ohio and parts of Kentucky. Cincinnati Metro, over 100,000. We're looking at Dayton, and because of that circulation, that counterclockwise circulation, we're watching here because the high winds are going to come in from the east. Louisville had a bunch of trees down. They never had a peak gust over 50, and I'll talk about why I think that's happening. But more and more counties, as expected, are now beginning to get filled in with outages in the Channel 13 viewing area. And you can see these are all wind and tree damage reports here. Okay, so we're going to get these stronger gusts that are going to continue to funnel in to central Indiana between now and 8, 9 o'clock here. And this is when we'll start to see things happening. Right now, about a 40-mile-per-hour gust in Indy, 57 in Columbus. So these gusts are going to peak the next 3-4 hours in the 45 to 55 zone. There might be some 60 reports here. We're not going to completely rule that out. I wouldn't focus on 60 because I don't think it's going to take a 60-mile-per-hour gust to knock some trees down, because we've been wet. The ground is wet now. And so I mentioned Louisville. You go a whole day with rain. Now the ground is saturated. But these numbers are going up quickly. I think we're well over 10,000 in the state now. And you can see that what's going on here across Ohio, that all moves our way. All right, so and here you go. You can see this zone within the high wind warning that technically continues until 11 p.m. So it's these areas are the most likely to experience power outages. However, that does not mean we're not going to have outages in the wind advisory. It's just this is probably where we're going to see the strongest gust the next few hours here. In addition to the strong gust, this is radar rain estimates, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Highest amounts have been south so far, but we are going to get into these bursts, these bands that move in. Another thing I want to talk about a little bit, Ohio, southern Ohio had some tornado warnings, and I can't completely rule that out here, that within some of these bands that wrap in on the southern portion, that we may have some embedded rotation within them. This is at 8 o'clock. We're still getting these bursts of rain and wind here, and then this is by 11 p.m. Steadier rain bands, probably going to be a little bit more concentrated to the north, and then once we get closer to about midnight, the heaviest rain rates, widespread, at that point will be done. Not the rain. The rain's not going to be done for the weekend. We're still going to have rain around here Saturday and Sunday as well. All right, so speaking of, so here's Saturday. I know we got all kinds of events going on this weekend. We're going to be breezy. It's not going to be nearly as strong, but we are still going to be very wet. Now, we still think up across the northern third, there may be some breaks in the cloud deck to allow for some sunshine that will then allow for stronger cells to develop And in this zone up here, we could get some rotation. And we'll be watching that closely. It would not surprise us both Saturday and Sunday afternoons if we were to get some tornado warnings based on the circulation that's been wrapping around. This is 5 p.m. Look at the rain, okay? Pretty widespread. And then again, this was going to continue as we go into Sunday. And even in Monday, we're still going to have what's going to become this big circulation that's going to be spinning across central Indiana. This is the expected rain amounts. That's the good part about this system. We just don't want the wind, but we're going to get probably a good 2 inches for a good portion of the area, and still got that 2 to 4 zone. As again, we're jumping to Sunday morning. Here's the new circulation spinning near Louisville, and this thing just continues to spin around clouds, showers, keep wrapping around this thing going into Monday afternoon here. But yeah, right now we were kind of bracketing those 4 to 8 p.m. hours, and we're right in the middle of it. So expect power outages to continue to ramp up. We'll probably get some pockets of wind damage with this, and stay with us. We'll keep you updated. High wind warning goes until 11 o'clock for the metro area. Stay with us.